Okay, hi everybody. This is Joe. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to play Sunday Morning by The Velvet Underground on piano. Okay, so before we begin, just a couple things I need to talk about. If you want to play the song, you really only need to know 5 chords, okay? The first chord is F sharp major, okay? F sharp major being characterized by F sharp, B flat, and C sharp. Okay, that's F sharp major. The second chord you'll need to know is B major, so that's very simply just B, E flat, and F sharp, so B major. The third chord you'll need to know is D sharp minor, so that's D sharp, F sharp, and A sharp, also known as B flat. Alright, now the fourth chord you'll need to know is G sharp major, so that's very simply G sharp, C, and E flat. There's your G sharp major. And the fifth chord you'll need to know is C sharp major, so very simply C sharp, F, and G sharp. Those are the 5 chords you'll need to know. The second thing I want to talk about is the fact that to play the song, very simply while your right hand is playing the melody, your left hand will be playing some combination of, the bass guitar as well as the chords that define the song. So something I want to mention is that when I'm teaching you guys how to play the song, I'm probably just going to play a simple unbroken chord, okay, like as such, just because it's easier to follow along. But when you become more confident and proficient with your playing of the song, consider breaking up the chord, okay? So here's an unbroken chord, and here's a broken chord. It just sounds more interesting. Okay, with those 2 things out of the way, let's get started. The song essentially has the following parts. There's a sort of there's a little instrumental introduction. Okay, there's an introduction, then there's the first verse, then there's the chorus, okay, then there's another verse, then there's another chorus, and then there's a little instrumental solo, and then there's another chorus, and then I think that's probably the end of the song right there, okay? So I'm going to teach you each of these parts one step at a time. So let's start with the introduction, okay, the instrumental introduction, okay? So at the very beginning, we start off with just F sharp major and B major. Although your left hand doesn't actually have to play anything, I'm just letting you guys know what chords constitute the instrumental beginning. All right, so you take your right hand, you start off on B flat, okay, and you're gonna go. Okay, so what we just did here was we essentially played an F sharp major chord inverted on B flat. So we went B flat, C sharp, F sharp, B flat, F sharp, C sharp, F sharp. Okay, so that was essentially just an F sharp major chord broken up into one note at a time. Then we're going to play a B major chord, again broken up, okay? Alright, so B, E flat, F sharp, B, F sharp, E flat, F sharp, okay? So that was really easy. Now just do it again, okay? So here's what it sounds like. Okay, that's basically the opening notes. Now, to simulate the bass guitar with your left hand, take your thumb and your pinky and play C sharp with each finger. And then F sharp with each finger. Okay? And you're going to time it as such. Right when we're about to finish the B major chord. So we just finished the B major chord. Okay, now this is if you want to stay really faithful to the song and just play. Okay? I mean, technically, if you wanted to sound very fancy from the get-go, you could start, playing an F sharp major chord and a B major chord the entire time. So here it is unbroken. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of different ways you can do it. For me, I like to play the first part faithful to the song. So I let the right hand have its own solo time. Then the bass guitar comes in. And then once I go from C sharp to F sharp, that's when I start embellishing the chords a little bit. So at this point I just start playing a couple of notes that would be consistent with the F sharp major chord. So that just means, you know, F sharp, B flat, and C sharp, that's all fair game. See, it sounds pretty rich and it sounds like I'm doing something clever, but I mean, I'm really not. It's just F sharp, B flat, C sharp, maybe another F sharp, C sharp, B flat, F sharp. And same thing, I'm going to embellish the B major chord just by hitting, you know, the same 3 notes that are, you know, consistent with B major. So just a B and E flat and F sharp and another B, another E flat and another F sharp. Okay? So here it is from the top. Bass guitar, embellishing, bass guitar. Okay, so that is the instrumental introduction. Now we're going to move on to the first verse. So I kind of fluffed up the very end, but you get the idea. Okay, so to play the first verse, essentially we start off with an F sharp major chord. Okay, so again, F sharp major chord being F sharp, B flat, and C sharp. Okay, I'm gonna play first an unbroken chord with my left hand just to keep things simple. Okay, you can make it more fancy and elaborate later on. Okay, so Sunday morning. So F sharp major suits the first 2 syllables, Sunday, and then once you get to morning, you've moved on to a B major chord. So Sunday, Sunday morning. Okay, so we went from F sharp major, B major. Okay, by the way, the entire time my right hand is anchored around middle C with my middle finger on F sharp and my pinky on B flat. Okay, so F sharp, B flat, C sharp, B and E flat. Okay, again. Alright, all the while, your left hand is playing F sharp major, and then B major. Alright, now we'll do it again. F sharp major, B major. Now we're going to do something which I call a transition phase. Okay, we're going to transition from F sharp major into D sharp minor. Okay, but we're not just going to do it like you know, right away. We're going to do something a little bit fancy to copy what the bass line is sort of doing. Okay, so we're going to do F sharp major. Okay, so what we did here was my left hand essentially playing in octaves. Went from F sharp, F, E flat. Meanwhile, my right hand is doing the following. F sharp major inverted on C sharp. Okay. Then I'm going to take the F sharp and drop it to just F. And then move from C sharp to E flat and go back to F sharp with your middle finger or your pinky. Okay, so that's how we're going to transition from F sharp major into D sharp minor. So again, slowly. So now we're on D sharp minor. D sharp minor. As you can tell, you can see my left hand is playing double D sharps. Meanwhile, my right hand is playing D sharp, F sharp, and B flat. My pinky is just going to play the melody. So what my left hand did was it jumped from D sharp to G sharp. Just to sort of create sort of like the illusion of the bass line, okay? Okay? I mean, you could just do this, but it sounds more interesting when you make it sound like you're, you know, putting in the time and effort to to sort of simulate the bass line, okay? Alright, now at this point we're playing essentially G sharp major, okay? In this case inverted on C, alright? So G sharp, C, E flat, G sharp, that's G sharp major essentially. Okay, now we're gonna play C sharp major. Again, this is, before we transition out of C sharp major, again I'm just going to use my left hand to simulate the bass line by, playing octaves E flat, F, and then F sharp. Whoops. Alright, and then we just repeat everything we just did. So again, F sharp major, B major, F sharp major, B major, F sharp major, transition into D sharp minor, copy the bass line, now we're into G sharp major, C sharp major, okay, alright, so again here it is full speed with simple unbroken chords. Oops, sorry. Alright, now when you become more proficient, I suppose, when you really memorize the chord progression, then you can start moving out from unbroken chords to broken chords to make it sound more interesting. So here's the same thing again. The only difference is my left hand is going to play, like, I'm going to break up the chords from something like this to, or something like that, okay? So here it is. So that is verse number 1. Now we're going to move on to how to play the chorus, okay? So the chorus, alright, it sounds like this. So to play the chorus, very simply, once again, you start off with F sharp major. Okay, so you start off with F sharp major, thumb on F sharp, middle finger on B flat, and your pinky on C sharp. And then B major. And then your left hand will sort of simulate the bass line by going from C sharp in the octaves, F, F sharp, B major, G sharp major, B major, oh sorry, I mean C sharp major. So again, to play the chorus, we start off with F sharp major, B major, do the bass line, back to F sharp major, B major, G sharp major, C sharp major, and then there's this little part of the song that goes da 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 da. Just take your right hand and go. So E flat, F, E flat, C sharp, B flat, C sharp. Okay, so again, this is what the chorus sounds like. Again, when you feel more confident about your ability to remember the chord progression and such, that's when you can start playing a little bit faster and breaking up the left hand chords into something seemingly more complicated but not really. For example, instead of playing just F sharp major as such, playing it as such would, you're playing the same notes, you're kind of just breaking them up a little bit, but it sounds more interesting. It's slightly more challenging, but it's worth it. Do that when you feel ready. Okay, so now we've covered the intro. We've covered the first verse. Etc., 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 etc. And we've also covered the chorus. After the chorus, there's the second verse, okay? Playing the second verse is essentially identical to playing the first verse, okay? So if you knew how to play verse number 1, then you're pretty much good to go. Alright, so I'm not gonna repeat myself again. You can always rewind this video and try to, fully memorize how to play verse number 1, because if you can do that, you can do verse number 2, no problem. Alright, now after verse number 2 is the chorus again, and again the chorus is like you learned it the first time as well, so no point in me doing that again. Now after the chorus, things get interesting. This is when you get that little instrumental solo. So the instrumental solo, okay. As you might have guessed, again it starts off with F sharp major. By the way, it sounds like this. So don't be intimidated by that. We're still using all the same chords we've used before. Your left hand again starts with F sharp major. Again, to keep it simple at first, we're just going to play unbroken chords with our left hand, okay? So starting with F sharp major with your left hand, your right hand starts with F sharp, okay? Essentially you're playing this. F sharp, B flat, C sharp, E flat, C sharp, B flat, C sharp. Okay, now we're going to move into B major chord. Okay, easy enough as it is. So again, just focus on the right hand for now. Okay, the key to making it sound a little bit fancy, by the way, is the use of really short, choppy triplets and even pairs. Okay, so here's my right hand. F sharp, B flat, C sharp. Okay, I'm gonna do C sharp and E flat really quickly. And then B. Watch the triplet. I say triplet because you play F sharp, G sharp, and F sharp very quickly in quick succession. And then same thing here again. C sharp, E flat, and C sharp. Okay, so here it is again. Here's a quick pair. We're going to move on to B major. Here's a triplet. Here's another triplet. And then just repeat it again. But this time around, we're going to do this. Your fourth finger hits G sharp and your pinky hits A, and you do it really quickly and it gives a sort of nice jazzy effect. Okay? So coupled with the left hand playing the corresponding chords, it sounds like this. F sharp major. we're going to do the transition phase once more. The transition from F sharp major to D sharp minor. Your left hand plays octaves, F sharp major, then F, and then double E flats, also known as double D sharps. Okay? Now while you're doing the transition phase, take your pinky. You're going to play E flat, F sharp, and E flat in a quick triplet succession. Okay, I'm not going to list all of the notes out. I'm just going to play them slowly and hopefully you can follow along, okay? So from the top. F sharp major with your left hand. Transition. B. Okay, now we're going to start listing the right hand. B flat. Okay, so you can tell your left hand is playing, again, the same pattern of chords you've always been playing. You've been going from F sharp major to B major, F sharp major to B major, F sharp major, transition into D sharp minor, transition into G sharp major, G sharp major into C sharp major, back into F sharp major. Okay, so now you know how to play the intro, you know how to play the verse, you know how to play the chorus, and you know how to play the instrumental. That's all you really need to know, okay? Because the entire song is just made up of those components. It starts off with the instrumental, then the first verse, then the chorus, then the second verse, then the second chorus, then the instrumental, then another chorus, and then that's pretty much the end of the song, okay? So yeah, you can pretty much just rewind through this video and focus on whichever part is giving you the most trouble. All I can say is, you know, if at first you're dissatisfied because it sounds overly simplistic, just remember, you learn first with the unbroken chords, and then when you get better at the song, that's when you can start breaking up the chord into something more fancy, I guess. So for example, instead of just playing F sharp major as a triad, I might play it as a tetrad, and I'll be probably be moving my thumb and pinky around all over the place. So. So this is just something that you kind of do later on, okay? So yeah, I guess I'll just demonstrate one more time. And I'll try to, annotate, commentate as I go along, okay? So we start off with the introduction in F sharp major, and then B major, bass line, embellishing the chords, B major, bass line, verse number 1. Sharp major, transition into D sharp minor, bass line, G sharp major, C sharp major, bass line, F sharp major, into chorus, B major, bass line, F sharp major. C sharp major, bass line with the right hand. Verse number 2, F sharp major, F sharp major, B major, F sharp major, transition into D sharp minor, bass line, G sharp major, C sharp major, bass line, into chorus number 2, B major, bass line, F sharp major, B major, G sharp major, C sharp major. Okay, into the instrumental solo with F sharp major as your starting point. B major, F sharp major, B major, jazzy part using the A, into into chorus number 3. Bass line, F sharp major, B major, G sharp major, C sharp major, and then the very end is just someone singing Sunday morning, da 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 da. In that case, you're still just playing F sharp major and B major over and over again. So and then you can end the song right there. Anyways, that's how you play the song in a nutshell. So yeah, go on, have fun with that. Yeah.